as Jonathan Hernandez comes out and takes the lead. Oh, we got lots of stuff going on here. Oh my god, there is death everywhere. Everyone got tight and have just gone up and slammed the wall. Boomerang shoes in that one, Jordan Lee. A lot of people just getting very tight there on the corner exit. It'd be almost easier to tell you who was not involved. I can see Jonathan Hernandez still on track, Clayton Ward, Ryan Pizzakemi, and Cosman. I'm going to have to talk to Cosman about how to pronounce his last name there. Because I have no idea how to pronounce that. That's the driver of the 48 car, who I believe is just coming to... Oh! He's just punted himself into the end of... To go down to the bottom lane to make it a 3 versus 2 on the bottom. And the outside line has just lost all of its momentum. Everyone going down to the bottom lane now. They'll be getting ready to reset for the next couple of laps, as we're going to have 3 laps left to run when Sanchez gets across the start-finish line here. But it's going to be interesting to see whether Harmon is going to push Sanchez to the win, or whether he is going to make a run at... Because here is Brian... Hello everyone, and welcome to the Nashville Super Speedway, and welcome to the penultimate round of Season 1 2022 here for the Output Racing League. I'm your commentator, the Aussie Sim commentator, and we are here for... Give me a second here, because I actually forgot the sponsors tonight. The JEM Racing 100 right here for the Nashville Super Speedway. We don't actually have their sponsorship for this one. But everyone is getting reared up here for some practice as a pack. You know, it's a little bit of a pit party. As they're off and racing, we are using the restart zones for this one. Thomas Harmon is one of the main protagonists in the championship. And look at him going 3 wide already on this very wide concrete 1.5 mile oval. So Chris Champeau in there. There's the 8 of Brian Harris, who's just given the hip and shoulder to the 1 of Brandon Bennett. Frank Isaacson went sideways. Brian Pizakemi went sideways as well. For the most part, everyone's surviving the first lap of the pit party. There's a 64 Jonas Marquez trying to get in underneath the 2 of Chris Champeau, who was trying to get around the 60 of Kyle Kraus. That's why Kyle Kraus has gotten into the fence, so he's going to be out of action here for the pit party at the very least. One of Brandon Bennett has also made his way into the pits. Trying to handle this huge concrete oval. Definitely a challenge for these drivers. It doesn't drive like a normal asphalt circuit because of the fact that it's all concrete. To Chris Champeau. He's looking at trying to make a mark here tonight. He wants to get into this championship fight. There will only be 4 who will be eligible to battle it out for the championship. Chris Champeau is one of those in the running to try and get there. This is just practice, and these guys trying to do everything in their power to get a hold of this track, find out what the truck is going to do over the course of a run. As down on the apron there, I think that was TJ Crampton. He's going for a pit entry. Yeah, the way the rubber lays down, the way that the trucks handle over the course of a run, the way that weather affects a concrete track is just so much different to how it affects an asphalt track. And you also have the vast difference of this being the biggest concrete track that we visit. believe we've also got a debutant here tonight. We do. There's the 9, Joe Salama. He's an A-Class 4.2 licensed driver with a 4.7k I rating. So he's definitely going to be one of the faster blokes. As sliding into the pit lane, I think that was John Lozelle. Oh, the 60 Kyle Kraus has gone for a spin as well, and he's going to end up in the pit lane. It's funny because you come off the concrete surface, you go onto an asphalt apron to stop in a concrete pit box. And not only do you have to deal with the racetrack being concrete, which is not a surface that we race on too much, but then you got to swap from concrete to asphalt to get the car wired up for the pit lane, stop back on concrete again. There is the 3389, Matt Horton making a move on Jonas Marquez. One of Brandon Bennett in behind her as well, looking to make a move. See Brandon Bennett now working his way up towards the 2 of Chris Champeau. Brandon Bennett with much fresher tyres than Chris at the moment. Let's throw up our ticker here. Not sure how accurate it is. It looks like Brian Chambliss with a 30.01 to take the top step so far on the totem pole. The reason I'm not sure how accurate it is because this is being recorded. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it for the race itself. There's Brian Chambliss and John Lozelle, TJ Crampton, Kyle Kraus, Matt Horton, Thomas Harmon, Jonas Marquez, Chris Champeau, Brian Harris, and James Watson is your top 10. Got Brandon Bennett, Corey Williamson, Frank Isaacson, Brian Pizzakemi, Mark Pensacough, and Joe Salama out of P16 so far. Looking at Jonas Marquez, currently in the 7th position. There's 24, Frank Isaacson. He's trying to make a move on Joe Salama right now. Looks like Joe's going to pull off on the back stretch here. He's actually taking the access road to the pits. There's a 38 of Thomas Harmon. He's definitely going to be locked into the championship fight. 24 Frank Isaacson. He's one of those on the outside looking in. See the 60 Kyle Kraus actually coming to a mischief on the back straight there. Thought we heard someone in the grass. Just behind Frank, we've got the 81 of Corey Williamson. Go back to Thomas Harmon now. Got Brian Pizzakemi right behind him. Brian actually ended with a really good chance here of becoming one of the final four to battle it out for the championship. As around he goes. Oh. Someone else going for a big spin through the grass as well. Not sure who that was, but that was spectacular. There's a 60 of Kyle Kraus and a 38 of Thomas Harmon. And just in front of them, the Matt Horton car. Kyle must be on fresher tyres, or he's just looked after his tyres that little bit better. So he makes a move very easily on Matt Horton. This is definitely one of those tracks that's going to shake up the order before we head into the final race of the season. And you never know, we might see someone with a surprise coming into the top four. I mean, for all we know at the moment, Frank Isaacson is still in with a chance of making it into the top four. And he's just doing this all out of consistency. There is Brian Pizzakemi, who's going sideways on the apron behind Corey Williamson. Brian Pizzakemi comes back out once more. There's a 64 Jonas Marquez. Jonas Marquez, who is currently in 7th. Still currently in 7th, but he's 30.159. Gets underneath Mark Pentacuff. Mark currently 16th with a 30.564. And around goes Kyle Kraus. That's coming out of the pits on his cold tyres. Sounds like someone else is spinning out somewhere. Not sure who that is or where they are. Because we're looking at Salama getting around Kyle Kraus. Mark Pentecuff trying to do the same thing. Salama, who is now in P9. Got a 30.238 to his name at the moment. There's 23 John Lozelle. He's getting underneath the Corey Williamson. Williamson, who we haven't seen racing around very much lately. Glad to see him on track. There's Brian Pizzakemi. He's currently down in 15th with a 30.041. Doesn't seem right. Well, he's currently down in 11th anyway. Oh, Thomas Harmon hit the wall coming out of 4 as Brian Piscani goes street wide with Salama and Marquez. He's going to dispatch both of them quite quickly there. And Salama and Marquez continue to battle side by side. It's great seeing them go side by side like this. This means that we could possibly see some side by side racing as the race gets on. It doesn't look like either lane really has the advantage between these two. And they're on a similar tyre strategy as well. There's Marquez on soon-to-be 15-lap-old tyres. Salama on soon-to-be 13-lap-old tyres. And Salama just getting out in front of Marquez now. So we have just 6.5 minutes now left in qualifying, in practice, sorry, before we head into qualifying. Brandon Bennett now as he's trying to chase down Corey Williamson. Brandon Bennett is currently down in 12th. Corey Williamson, who's in 14th. Got about 10 laps left in practice now. Both these guys were catching up to 24 Frank Isaacson. We swap back to Corey Williamson now. Brandon Bennett's still there as well. Corey Williamson looked like he got into the fence there a little bit coming out of turn 4. There's the 64 Jonas Marquez, the 33.89 of Matt Horton. I think Horton's just come out of the pits. As Horton gets around Marquez quite easily. He's now chasing down Salama. I think there might have just been a slight little bit of contact there from Marquez, from Horton, sorry, onto Slama. What did Marquez do that time? Oh, sorry, what did Horton do that time? Horton with a 29.997. Oh wait, no, my apologies. He hasn't done that lap just yet. Oh wait. Yeah, no, he hasn't done that lap yet. Apparently he's going to do a 29.997. Oh, there we go. He's just done it. How about that? The world of post-race recording. Corey Williamson slams into the fence quite hard. Couple of big hits there for Corey Williamson. Jeez. There's Brian Chambliss at 21. He's currently P2 now. Brandon Bennett's still down in 12th. That's probably going to be where he remains, in all honesty. Oh, Brandon Bennett. But Brian Chambliss big time into the fence. Coming out of turn 4. A lot of damage done there. There's John Lozelle coming out of the pits. Comes Chambliss and Marquez as well. As we now only have just over 2 minutes left in practice. See if anyone can improve on their positioning. Oh, and around goes Chambliss out of turn 2. He was pushing hard, and it bit him. Go have a look at the 78 Brian Pizzakemi. Currently down in 11th. See what he can do to improve his time here. First lap here is a 30.832. We are in the final minute of practice. We'll just stick with Brian here for the remainder of practice, as we're going to go to a brief commercial break here. When we come back, 30.040, he's just gone up to P3 to close out practice. We'll go to a break. When we come back, we will have the results of qualifying. So stay tuned. More from the JEM 100 coming up from the Nashville Super Speedway here very shortly on the Aussie Sim Commentator channel. Welcome back to the JEM 100 here from the Nashville Super Speedway on the Aussie Sim Commentator channel. Qualifying is complete and the field is starting to organise themselves now. It is going to be Matt Horton off the pole, TJ Cranton coming out of P2. We've got Joe Salama out of third, with Thomas Harmon starting out of the fourth position. But John Lizelle starting from P5 with Brian Chambliss out of P6. Got Frank Isaacson starting out of 7th with James Watson out of 8th. Kyle Kraus out of 9th with Chris Champo out of P10. Got Mark Pentecost 11th, Jonas Marquez 12th, Brian Piscemi 13th, Brian Harris in 14th, Brendan Bennett 15th, and Corey Williamson propping up the field in P16. Just waiting for everyone to get on the grid, and then we can get going here for the JEM 100. A lot of people opting to take the escape road coming out of the pits, sitting right in behind the pace car. Quite a few people also on track. There is a JEM sponsored truck on the front row. Alright, here we go, coming out of turn 4. The pace car is in. The first start is on green. All restarts are on the leader. And we're off and racing for JEM Racing 100 from the Nashville Super Speedway here on the Aussie Sim Commentator channel. And Matt Horton already trying to wrestle the lead away from the 61 of TJ Crampton. All the trucks are a little bit loose here on the first lap, and it looks like Matt Horton is going to come away with the lead. The 38 of Thomas Harmon looking like he wants to make a move as well, and he's going to get there on TJ Crampton. TJ sliding himself straight back into third. Oh, giving a little bit of a tap to the 38 of Thomas Harmon. Sneaky now up in between both of them. Comes the 21 of Brian Chambliss. There's a 23 of John Lizelle as well. He's looking at getting up in this, trying to take away fourth from both these drivers. And already this race is a little bit chaotic. Looking back in the field here a little bit, we've got Joe Salama in a 9. He's trying to hold off the run from Frank Isaacson, who's gotten sideways, going for a trip through the grass. Looks like he's managed to save it. He'll come back out on track, but he's going to lose all of that time and all that draft. And it's actually my belief here that Brian Harris has not made it to the grid, which is quite unfortunate. We've got 15 cars taking on this race here tonight. There is the 2 of Chris Champo. He is currently in the 5th position. Just behind him is Thomas Harmon. Both of them will be looking to improve on this a little bit. But out in front, Matt Horton. He got the pole and he is leading the way. TJ Crampton's actually done really well to hold on to third here. It looks like for the most part everyone has single filed out at the moment. Everyone just trying to find their groove as Jonas Marquez goes really deep into turn 3, getting right up the back of James Watson in the 39 car. Oh, in the background there, I think I saw Mark Pensacough have a run-in with the outside fence coming out of turn 4. He's going to start losing a little bit of time because of that. Like in the front pack here, we've got someone trying to make a move. No, he was just looking intimidating. That was the 23 of John Lazelle. Yeah, top 5 just nestled here nice and close. It's the 61 of TJ Crampton trying to make the move on Brian Chambliss. Now goes to the inside in turn 3. Pulls side by side with him and gets the move made. John Lazelle looking to make the move as well. And it looks like everyone wants to try and get around Brian Chambliss, shuffle him back into the 5th position. And Chris Champeau not satisfied with just taking 4th, almost trying to make a move on John Lazelle for 3rd. The race is definitely on in earnest here at the front of the pack. Now TJ Crampton trying to chase down Matt Horton. Let's see what he can do this time. Now move back to Jonas Marquez. He is already in the 9th position. After starting in, I think it was 12th he started. Kyle Kraus back here as well. Runs coming in 11th. Go back and check in on the front of the pack. And it seems like things have calmed down here a little bit. No one's really trying to make a move. Thomas Harmon, who is in front of Joe Salama. These two trying to catch up to the front pack. As there's a little bit of battle here going on. What's this for the 9th and 10th positions between Kyle Kraus and Jonas Marquez. Kraus gets that position. And Marquez is going to try and fight back on the inside. Just behind both of them is Brian Pisakemi. You see the 60 Kyle Kraus running a much higher line than what Jonas Marquez is. He's trying to use the momentum advantage of the outside line to maintain position. He wouldn't want to run much higher than where he is running, because when you start getting into the marbles a little bit, and that's where you're going to have a bad time. But he is riding that high line pretty well right now. Brian Pisakemi sees this, and he's going to try and run the high line as well, as he's fending off from the one of Brandon Bennett. And that is position successfully defended by the 60 of Kyle Kraus. Now from the 60, we're going to go check out the 61, see how he's doing. There he is, TJ Crampton, still in P2. As I think Chris Champeau just got into the fence there a little bit coming out of turn 4. That's going to allow the 21 of Brian Chambliss to try and make a move. Pinching Chris Champeau down a little bit on the entry to the corner. And these laps absolutely flying by at the moment. Oh, into the fence just in front of them. 23 of John Lozelle. Brian Chambliss working that high line perfectly to get around the two of Chris Champeau now. Let's see if he's got anything for Lozelle. As the top two have checked out from the rest of that pack now. It's still 5-car pack. As the 38 of Thomas Harmon and the 9 of Joe Salama have joined in on festivities. And around Lozelle goes Chambliss. He went for the inside pass this time. And Lozelle looks like he has an issue. Went very wide. Going through 3 and 4 that time. Here comes the two of Chris Champeau to try and effect an overtake on the inside in turns 1 and 2. But John Lozelle, this time managing to run the right outside line. He's going to take the advantage straight back. Oh, Chris Champeau goes very deep into turn 3. But John Lozelle side drafting a little bit in turn 3, taking the advantage back. And now this has become a pack of 4 as the 21 of Brian Chambliss has absolutely checked out from these guys. Now Chris Champeau takes the advantage in turns 1 and 2. John Lozelle still trying to hold on for dear life, but now here comes the 38 of Thomas Harmon. Joe Salama is right there as well. Guys constantly swapping and changing positions. Speaking of swapping and changing positions, Ron Pizzakemi has made his way up into 9th now. As he's trying to chase down this front pack as well. Looks like John Lozelle now finally slotting into the 6th position. But in front of the 2 and the 38 are battling side by side. Thomas Harmon and Chris Champeau. And Pizzakemi has now moved his way into 8th, getting around James Watson. And Thomas Harmon has moved into 4th. John Lozelle not satisfied with being dropped down to P6. Was looking for a way around Chris Champeau. Couldn't get a move made though going into turn 3. And it looks like Brian Pizzakemi actually got these guys behind him a little bit. He has. Oh, little bit of a tap there. Jonas Marquez on the back of James Watson. And that's going to be Marquez now up into 9th. Brandon Bennett looking for a move as well. Everyone lining up on the inside of James Watson to try and take advantage. James Watson, the lone Ford in the field right now. We only have 4 Toyotas and everyone else running the Chevrolet. James Watson has now dropped all the way down to 12th position. Let's go back up to this front pack though. And the 21 of Brian Chambliss has caught up to the 61 of TJ Crampton. And Matt Horton has checked out from these two now. Oh, fresh air definitely playing in his favour. But let's see if Chambliss has anything for Crampton here. Looks like for the moment things are going to be clean and clear. So we are going to go for a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll be going until we see the green flag pit stops. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Welcome back to the JEM 100, right here live and exclusive from the Nashville Super Speedway on the ERacing commentator channel. And finally, we have the move from Brian Chambliss on TJ Crampton. That move only just started in turn 3, and he took the advantage coming out of turn 4 and took second place away. Now let's see if Chambliss can chase down our leader, the 33.89 of Matt Horton. And if you don't get what I say when I'm saying he's the 33.89, it's because normally he runs the 33. And in the standings, you'll see he is the number 33. On the side of his truck, he's the 89. Just go through the rest of the field here, see what we've got going on. There's a 60 of Kyle Kraus. He's dropped all the way down to 12th now. There's Joe Salama. He's in 9th. Brandon Bennett behind him. Brian Piscemi, Jonas Marquez after starting 13th and 12th respectively in 7th and 8th. Jonas Marquez so far with the fastest lap of the race too at 30.175. Brandon Bennett was working over the 9 of Salama. And he gets that position. That is Brandon Bennett now up in the 9th. Salama down to 10th. James Watson lurking just in behind these guys. Went for either one of them to slip up, so he can take advantage and get a spot back. Brian Piscemi catching up to John Lozelle here, who is in 6th position. Piscemi definitely looking for a piece of that action. Let's just drop back here to Joe Salama. James Watson is now right on his tail. Well, actually up ahead there was a move going on. 23 of John Lozelle to 2 of Chris Champeau, battling out side by side just in front of Brian Pizzicami. These guys squabbling over the 5th position. And this could actually be advantage Pizzicami here if he picks the right lane to follow. Oh, almost contact coming out of turn 4. I think Lozelle had to lift a little bit there. And Brian Pizzicami well and truly into this battle now. It looked like he helped draft the 2 of Chris Champeau past the 23 John Lozelle. Lozelle still fighting pretty strong. Pizzicami with a whole lot of speed coming out of turn 2. 24 Frank Isaacson hits the pit lane. Brian Pizzicami has hit a little bit of a roadblock here with these two being in front of him like this. Still probably a little bit early in the race for him to send it 3 wide. Mark Pentacup has now come into the pits. And Lozelle's moved up in the 5th. Chris Champeau down to P6. Now here comes Brian Pizzicami. Jonas Marquez almost in this battle as well. Oh, so close to the tail was Lozelle, was Champeau there. And Pizzicami cannot take the advantage. Jonas Marquez now looking to make a move on him. Side by side, they go into turns 1 and 2. Just coming out into the pits, coming out from the pits in front of them was the 5 of Mark Pentacup. That kind of stunted the run there for Marquez. Didn't want to run into him with the speed differential. Marquez with his much fresher tyres is probably going to be a bit of a thorn in everyone's side right now, as he's going to make his way back up to try and get one of his laps back. He's gone 2 laps down because of that pit stop. Brian Pizzicami looking like he was going to try and make an inside move on Pentacup there, couldn't get it done. Comes Marquez now looking for another move on the inside of Pizzicami. Pizzicami giving him plenty of space. Pizzicami also using the momentum of the outside lane to maintain position. Top 4 all strung out. It's Horton, Chambliss, Crampton and Harmon. We're only about 9 laps away from seeing the proper start of green flag stops. I'm pretty sure Pentacup and Isaacson only pitted due to damage sustained throughout the first part of the race. Coming out in the middle of the pack is definitely not what Mark Pentacup wanted. Frank Isaacson was able to claw a lot of time back with the clean air in front of him. Mark Pentacup hasn't been able to do so, being stuck in the traffic. Pizzicami's going to try and go around the outside of him now. I think Mark's just giving up and letting them go. And here comes the one of Brandon Bennett now buying his way into this battle. Jonas now going to the inside of Mark Pentecoff. Pentecoff actually going to the outside to relent track position to these guys. And it looks like we could have a battle for third on the books here. Corey Williamson now pulls into the pits. Thomas Harmon has been slowly and surely catching up to TJ Crampton. Only 0.3 of a second between them at the moment. Just 2 seconds ahead to Brian Chambliss. Doesn't look like this is quite a battle just yet, so we're going to keep an eye on this little group here for now. As Pizzacchemi now catching up to Chris Champeau. He wants to get that 6th position. I'm pretty sure these two will be battling over the final position of the top 4. The Pizzacchemi definitely wants to beat Chris Champeau here. TJ Crampton has gone into the pits. Started to pit just that little bit early, try and get the fresh tyre advantage. That relinquishes his position to Thomas Harmon. Not sure I like the undercut strategy here, honestly. I think the overcut might be a little bit better. But we'll see how things unfold when he comes out of the pits. It is going to be a lap down and in heavy traffic. Here goes Brian Pizzacchemi now trying to make the move on the 2 of Chris Champeau. To the inside he goes. As we are now 50 laps down, 50 laps to go, halfway home. Flag marshal waves across flags to our field. And just sliding up into P5 now is Brian Pizzacchemi. Jonas Marquez looking like he wants to try and buy into this battle as well. TJ Crampton is just behind him on his fresher tyres. Going to look for the outside move on all of them. Gets around the first 2 very easily. And now he's going to get underneath of Pizzacchemi. He got around them so quickly. It's like they weren't even affected at all. But here goes Jonas Marquez now to the inside of Chris Champeau. Whoa! That was almost something there. Marquez got a little bit spooked from Chris Champeau getting a little bit loose coming out of turn 4. Now to the inside of Chris Champeau goes Jonas Marquez. Champeau running a very wide line there in 1 and 2. I don't think that's as high as he wanted to go. I think that was higher than he wanted to go. But Marquez slips underneath him and takes away position. In fact, the two of Chris Champeau coming into the pits. Thomas Harmon in the pits as well. As here goes the flurry of green flag pit stops now. Expecting this pit lane to start getting very busy. Here's the one of Brandon Bennett. He's trying to fight with James Watson into 39. Guys currently battling over 6th and 7th. Although we know this is actually about 9th and 10th. As the 39 of James Watson pulls into the pits. We now look at the 60 of Kyle Kraus. He's just been overtaken by Corey Williamson, who is a lap down after pitting. But when will our leader, Matt Horton, come into the pits? He's not coming in this time. He still has quite the handy lead over Brian Chambliss. There's the gap as it's shown on track. These static cameras are awesome for showing off this gap actually. About 2.2 seconds. Oh, and this time into the pits will come our leader, the 3389 of Matt Horton, in a very wild pit entry. And this gives the lead and a bonus point for leading the lap to Brian Chambliss. TJ Crampton actually jumped Thomas Harmon in the pits by pitting that little bit early. I believe it's a short-term gain, long-term loss for the undercut, honestly. As Jonas Marquez has now pulled into the pits. Kyle Kraus also into the pit, so we've only got 4 cars yet to the pit. As Chambliss, Pisacemi, Bennett and Slama. And this time, Chambliss comes into the pits, as just around him went TJ Crampton. See what Pisacemi does. He stays out. Will he lead the lap? Yes, he will. Going to be a bonus point to Brian Pisacemi for leading the lap. Now it's just Pisacemi, Bennett and Slama who haven't pitted this run. And this time Pisacemi comes into the pits. A little bit sideways on entry. But Brandon Bennett is now going to inherit the lead and get a bonus point for doing so. And it looks like Brandon Bennett gearing up to come into the pits this time. And Slama coming into the pits as well. Oh, a little bit too much speed. Just gets it pulled up in time. The TJ Crampton, I do believe, will effectively become the race leader here. And he has. The undercut has worked out perfectly for him. He's got a 5-second lead over Matt Horton and Thomas Harmon. There is Matt Horton. And there is Thomas Harmon just behind him. So TJ Crampton is actually losing a lot of time here right now to these guys. He has the older tyres by about 9 laps on Matt Horton. Maybe about 6 laps over Thomas Harmon. But Matt Horton with the fresher tyres of our top 3. Corey Williamson with his early stop has actually worked his way up to P7. Joe Salama, who's just in front of Matt Horton here, has some of the freshest tyres, but he is a lap down as it stands at the moment. Go check out our leader. There he is. So now just a 3-second gap back to Matt Horton, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. So now we see Kyle Cross in the 60. There's no real battles going on the track right now. Everyone kind of spread out as we're on lap 65, which means there's 35 laps left to go. But Brian Pizzicami is going to move up on the inside of Corey Williamson. Pizzicami with much fresher tyres than Corey by about 15 laps. As Mark Pentecup has gone back into the pits, I think he's getting quite a few repairs done. As the lead is almost down to 1.5 seconds for TJ Crampton. There he is. Crampton's starting to catch up to Frank Isaacson here. Frank with the oldest tyres of the field. He's got 32 laps on those tyres, 10 more than Corey Williamson. I think Mark Pentecup is now OUT out of this race. As TJ Crampton puts Frank a lap down. And it looks like Joe Salama wants to try and get his lap back from TJ Crampton. 33 Matt Horton just behind Frank now. So it's less than a second between first and second. So this battle is definitely going to start getting intense. Battle for the lead starting to intensify now. Matt Horton up on the inside of TJ Crampton. He's going to take the lead away and take it back. Matt Horton, who has led the most laps of the race so far. Now all TJ Crampton has to do is just stay in his draft here and continue on. We'll see if he can. Thomas Harmon back in third, looming. Only 1 second back to Thomas Harmon, who's sitting there in third right now. See what TJ has got for this battle. Brian Chambliss in fourth. Chris Champeau currently in fifth. Jonas Marquez and Brian Pizzicami battling once more on track. These guys have been stuck to each other like two June bugs on a summer's eve. Pizzacami looking for an outside move. Just squeezing his nose up there. Now can Pizzacami do anything with this outside run? He's not going to have any drafting help to get him past Marquez. He's going to have to rely on skill alone. And Pizzacami makes the move stick. That's Pizzacami up to the 7th. Marquez down to P8. Marquez still with the fastest lap of the race, though, a 30.175. As there's a change for second. TJ Crampton couldn't hold on as Thomas Harmon got around him. Here comes Brian Chambliss as well now, looking for the inside move. TJ trying to pin him down, couldn't get it done. Those fresher tyres coming back. And Chambliss now trying to look for a way around the 38 of Thomas Harmon. As the 81 of Corey Williamson comes back out of the pits just in front of these guys. He's going to stay on the inside line and let them go. And Brian Chambliss now takes over second from Thomas Harmon. As Corey Williamson starts experimenting with alternate dimensions. That's not what you want to see as TJ Crampton. That's very scary indeed, actually. Now Corey on his fresher tyres is going to try and dispatch of our lead lap runners here. Wants to try and do it as quickly and as painlessly as he can. He's going to let them run their lines and he's going to take them on the outside. But inadvertently, his presence here in the battle for second through fourth already affecting things as look at how far back TJ Crampton is. And look at how far back Thomas Harmon is from Chambliss. It looks like Matt Horton has a 2.5 second lead over Chambliss at the moment as well. Let's go check out the two of Chris Champeau here. He's got a battle with John Lozelle on his hands. And these two won't want to become complacent because Pizzacami and Jonas Marquez not that far behind. Frank Isaacson is back there as well. He's got fresher tyres, albeit 2 laps down. Go back to Thomas Harmon now, all in space of his own. Now we're looking back at John Lozelle. The ERacing doesn't know where to look. I said it to focus on crashes since everyone's mostly spread out. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to another commercial break here. When we come back, we will be going to the checkered flag, so make sure you guys stay tuned. Welcome back to the JEM Racing 100 here from the Nashville Super Speedway. On the Sim Commentator channel, we're looking at Brian Pizzakemi here, who's in P7, and he has caught up to John Lizelle now and Chris Champeau, and he is hungry for some more positions. We've got 16 laps to go. Jonas Marquez behind him in P6. And what can the driver of the 78 car do? Got Frank Isaacson here as well in the 24. He is 2 laps down though. So he would want to try and limit his involvement in this battle. Only have 15 laps to go in this race. Here goes Brian Pizzakemi now to the inside of John Lizelle. And John Lizelle trying to use that outside line with the momentum and the draft on the back straight to maintain position. As both of them catching up to the two of Chris Champeau here. And Lizelle goes too high in turn 3. It just gifted the position to Brian Pizzakemi. Also allowed the 24 Frank Isaacson to get underneath him briefly. That is the 78. Brian Pizzakemi now trying to make the move on the 2 of Chris Champeau. To the inside he goes. Doesn't quite have his nose up there yet. And to turn 3 he will do though. And it looks like he's going to make this move quite easy. At least he's going to get side by side pretty easily. Whether he can convert into the position or not is another thing though. And in turns 1 and 2, he makes the move complete. It's Brian Pizzakemi now up into P5. As it looks like the 2 and the 23 are going to continue to battle it out here for the 6th and 7th positions. But they're also going to have to keep an eye on Jonas Marquez, who has been closing in on them lap after lap as well. And with 11 to go, he might be able to make a mark on these two as well. We've had a couple of cars go a lap down as Joe Salama and Corey Williamson. But Williamson raced his way back onto the lead lap. And Salama did that as well, but he fell back into going a lap down. As we've got 10 laps to go. 15 miles left in the race. Made that 9 laps now. 13.5 miles. At least I think that's how the math works out. This is 23, John Lizelle. He's trying to do everything in his power to catch back up to Chris Champeau here and make a move. I just love how with these drivers, they're all wild and crazy in practice, but as soon as they hit the track for the race, it's all serious business. And this race has gone flag to flag so far, no cautions whatsoever. As Corey Williamson is once more experimenting with alternate dimensions to 24, Frank Isaacson slamming the wall coming out of turn 4. That's not going to do him any favours. Let's go and have a look at our leader now, to 33.89 of Matt Horton. He now just has 5 laps left to run in this race. The current order is Matt Horton, Brian Chambliss, Thomas Harmon, TJ Crampton, and Brian Pizzakemi as your top 5. And Matt Holden holding on to the comfortable lead here, with just 3 1/4 laps left to run in this race. And he's had so many different women on his car, it's unfathomable. Just 1.5 laps left to go in this race, as Matt Horton is going to be doing this one pretty easy. Got a 1.8 second lead over Brian Chambliss, as Jonas Marquez has just moved his way up into 7th. That's a white flag, last lap, last chance to win it or wear it for the 33.89 of Matt Horton. He comes out of turns 3 and 4 for the final time. The winner of the JEM ERacing 100 here for the Nashville Super Speedway and the Aussie Sim Commentator channel will be the 33.89 of Matt Horton. P2 is going to go to Wade Brian Chambliss. P3 will be Thomas Harmon. And this was a complete caution-free race for the penultimate race of the season. But the question is, who is going to make it into our top 4 to battle it out for the championship? We're just waiting for all the points to be tabulated here real quick while we wait for Matt Horton to also do a burnout. And our top 4 has been decided. It's going to be Thomas Harmon, TJ Crampton, Matt Horton, and Brian Pizzakemi battling it out for the championship. There you go. What a top 4, as Matt Horton is going to do some victory burnouts here. We're going to go to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we will have, well, I guess not driver interviews, but just a review of our top 3 plus the Hard Charger Award winner. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Now it is time for our Autism Awareness Hard Charger Award winner. And our hard charger for tonight started in P12 and finished in 7th. It is, of course, the 64 of Mr. Jonas Marquez. Him and Brian Pizzicemi both absolutely flying their way through the field after starting 12th and 13th. Brian Pizzicemi did not qualify. He did attempt to, and he spun out a couple of times. So he didn't get a lap in, making him ineligible for the Hard Charger Award. But Jonas Marquez, who finished last of the people who did qualify, found his way up to P7s, +5 for the race. Great race from him. And, he pulled the strategy card perfectly, waited and had the fresher tyres later in the race, which was to his advantage. Now let's go through our top 3 for the race. Coming in third, our leader in the points heading into the final race, 38 of Mr. Thomas Harmon, as I went to the wrong person. Here we go, Thomas Harmon. And what can I say? He is definitely the one to beat going into the final race. And, it's definitely going to be hard to beat him, especially with it being Homestead, the race where I actually made my debut all the way back in Season 1 of the Output Racing League. So we'll see what he's got in store for everyone when we head into the final race. Coming up next in the second position was the 21 of Brian Chambliss. Chambliss, who was not a factor in the top 12. In fact, where is he in the points? Because I know he had a very limited schedule as the race went on. Just looking for where he is at points coming into the final round here. He's 15th going into the final round, so he still has the potential to make up maybe 1 or 2 positions here. Maybe. But coming up next, our winner for this evening's races and one of the other of the top 4 battling out for the championship at Homestead will be the 33 of Matt Horton. Keep an eye on Matt. He is a bit of a wild card as far as the top 4 will be concerned. And, if anyone's going to be the dark horse coming into the final race, it is going to be him. But that is going to end things for us here at the Nashville Super Speedway. Make sure you guys stay tuned. Coming up soon will be the final race from the Homestead Miami Speedway. Make sure you guys stay tuned. Until then, I've been your commentator, the Aussiesm commentator, and I will see you guys next week.